Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, so y'all know what that means. This is Sunday's edition of Book Talk Live. And today we have another very special guest, brand new published author. He is now a best-selling and Amazon #1 best-selling author. Mr. Cory Scott has joined us today. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, man?
Hey, another day, man. Another day. Just trying to make sure this chair is stable this time.
Oh
Yesterday
yeah.
during your launch, my chair gave out. I don't think everybody saw it, but a few people hit me on the side and was like, "Hey, you all right?" So, hey, I guess it's true. Heavy is the head, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So listen, today as we are talking, I want the people to get a chance to know who you are. So, go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself. Give them a little bit of background. Who are you?
All right. Okay, well, C.L. Scott is my author name. First name Cory, middle name Lamont, last name Scott, of course. And so that's why I, put them initials together. But the backstory to who Cory is it goes deeper than the ocean can never even run. Because I haven't lived a normal lifestyle according to anyone's point of view. Because I've put myself in situations that prolonged my course of life to where I'm at now, and I made it a lot harder than what it ever should have been. It all started around the age of 13, 14. I started feeling myself. Peer pressure was taking its toll. Inside my home was a blessed house, but when I stepped outside, I was just getting sucked up by all kind of influences. I picked up the smoking and run the streets and all that kind of stuff that a teenager goes through at that age. And so I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was going. I knew I did want to live. I did want something nice in life, but I didn't know what it was. And so I've had to I went the long road. I come from me, my brother, and my sister, Candace and Sean. Not to say that they just had a smooth path, but I made my path a lot bumpier than what it ever should have been. Had I just listened to my parents and the guidance and the love that they were trying to show me from a younger age, it would have been a lot better. But I don't regret anything because it made me the man I am today. And so, that's the transparent side of everything, because I wouldn't have been where I am today had I not had the experiences that I've had to, endure and see with my two eyeballs. I've seen the worst of the worst, seen murders, seen penitentiary, name it. I've been there. I've been on the scene on a lot of places, man. That's stamped in my mind forever, but I'm not living in the past no more. We leveling up. Shout out to my book publisher, Suge, man. He gambled on me, man, and invested in me, man. And listened to my vision and listened to my story and took it to heart and told me, hey, if you do this certain thing, it's gonna take you to a certain place. And I followed the blueprint. And that's where we sitting here today, and we talking live as a #1 best-selling author.
Yes, sir, man. You've been through a lot, and I know that a lot of people, they see where you are now, and they see all the posts that the positive posts. They see you connecting with the right people, but it's amazing the journey that you've been through, right? And so what I really want people to understand is that wherever they are, I was talking to a young man earlier who's ready to write his story. And he's in the same situation that you were in last year, this time, right? Still with the tell people where you were this time last year, because I think that is the part that we leaving out. I don't want to jump the gun.
Most definitely. This time last year, this is September the 13th, I was on an ankle monitor. I was on house arrest. I had just got out the county. I was on my last 4 months on parole. I still have my TDC release sheet right here, and I keep it every day, and I remind myself to work hard and get up and strive to never have to see these papers in the flesh again. And so I was locked down, man. The state of Texas had me by the neck, and I couldn't do anything. The crazy part about it, I never even committed a crime. But I'm not playing the victim role. It is what it is. But that's where I was last year. So within a 12-month time span, not only is where Suge, help me level up, but that's the power of God, man. That's the power of God when you obey and when you listen and you live according to the word.
Yeah, exactly, man. And and so that's a great reminder for people who are still in that position, right? Um, did you think you would be here this time last year?
Honestly, I put doubts on myself that I should have never did. You know, Master P said the best, man. It ain't no limit. But I did question myself. I did question myself because I still had a horrible mindset, and that's where it all starts. My mindset was horrible. I was still thinking street ways. You know, this it was just chaotic, man. It was crazy. So honestly, I can't say all the way that I can't see myself here because I always had that boss mindset, but I did put doubts on myself
Yeah. And what you were going through wasn't easy, right?
at all.
Um, tell people a little bit about the journey that got you from having the thought of writing the book. Because I remember when we first talked, you just had that thought in your head
Yeah,
to actually becoming an author.
yeah.
Take them through some of it. Because I think right now you giving us the Hollywood Cory. I want the real Cory.
So yeah, this whole book idea came actually. Uh, Me and Suge linked up, you know, last May, probably the end of April, and we had a conversation about writing a book. I seen what he was doing. I had an idea in my mind, but the book thought had already been in my mind for like a few years now because I was in the penitentiary when I first came up with the idea of the book. I just didn't have a title and I didn't know how I was going to finish everything off. But you know, I was running down with my cellie one night. We was talking about life and putting stories together, and I just started jotting stuff down. And even though I lost a lot of paperwork that I had during that time, the story was stamped in my mind. It was stamped in my mind. It was for a reason because a lot of things I told myself I wasn't gonna forget. That was the one. That was one of the major things that I did not forget. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff I wish I still remember, but that story I never forgot it. And so when I started writing it, it just flowed natural. And I had to it wasn't just a, you know, pick up pen to the pad every day. I'm writing nonstop. It was the total opposite of that. But the story became easier as I continued to progress and endure. At the same time, keep in mind, while I'm writing this book, life is turning up on me. Life is turning all the way up. I'm dealing with stuff with my children, serious situations that I almost went to a whole other level of life with that would have not been on this call talking and how I'm talking now. Would have been no number one best-selling author, none of that. You know, I probably would have been in the casket right now. And so it's been a whole journey. And they say success is not a destination, it's all about the journey. And so the journey has been beyond real, man. Like Rick Ross said, it's been deeper than rap. And so, you know, they see my tattoos, man. You know, I got tattoos on my face all over my body. You know, one of the majors, that's not even a word. Don't quote me on that. But one of the majorest word tattoos they see, man, they see a teardrop on my eye, man. It's right there on my eye, and it's stamped since 2009. And so they label me as a killer, blah, blah, blah. I'm not that. But what it does stand for is pain, man, because I've seen things at a younger age that, oh, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And I still have nightmares about that stuff. Wake up in the middle of the night, you know, anxiety get to racing, blood pressure get to racing, all kind of stuff. So it's been a long journey, man. It's been a long journey, but this is my purpose. This is my passion. This is something I would do without even money being even involved because I love motivating people. I love talking to people. I know how it's been real with me. And not to say that I didn't have the guidance or anything like that, but I know it's people out here who don't even have half of the little bit that I had. So I'm taking myself and putting myself in them shoes to be that man, to be that brother, to be that mentor, to be that motivator, to be that author, and whatever other label you want to put on it, you know, because I care. You know, I care from the heart. It's unconditional love with me, man. Like a person under a bridge versus a millionaire, I'm gonna have the same respect for. You know, it ain't no difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's powerful, bro. What I'm the reason that I'm smiling is because I see the maturity. And for those of y'all that don't know Cory, or y'all are just meeting Cory for the first time, I've known Cory since you were what, 12 years old? Or
Yeah,
about 8 years old. So now we're
yeah,
both grown men, not like men. We're grown men, have families and
Yeah.
everything, and I'm proud of you. You know, just to know your journey and know that your book is called The Choices of Life, right? And
Yeah.
it's all about making the right decisions in life. But just knowing that throughout life, you've had the choices that a lot of black men have, right? And I'm not one that really touches on race, but I'm going to touch on race on this one because
Yeah.
that's important, right? Um, where you grew up. Tell people a little bit about your. I'm not glorifying. I'm not taking anything away, but
Yeah.
tell people about the area that you are from, like so that they get a clearer picture. Because we see the Cuban flag behind you. We see the Hawaii shirt. We see you in lounge mode. Tell people about Cory. Tell people about the background that makes Cory Scott, or makes you CL Scott. Because we're gonna put Cory to rest.
Yeah. Corey's he's hanging up in the closet right now.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to see him right now. So CL Scott, man. I'm originally from South Dallas. My parents are not natives of Dallas, Texas, but I was born in Dallas, Texas, Parkland. Shout out to Parkland. Uh, 86, man. And I was raised in South Dallas up until like a few years. And we moved to an area of Dallas called Pleasant Grove. And so it's all hooded area. But when we moved to Pleasant Grove, I still went to school in South Dallas. And South Dallas is one of the most toughest places that's going down in Dallas, especially during the 90s. It was all kind of chaos. It was murders every night, every day,
I
cops
still got the
everywhere,
first 48 on lock.
prostitution everywhere. The first 48, it started originally in Dallas, man. And it's for a reason, man. Dallas, Texas, they call it the Triple D, Dirty, Dirty Dallas. It gets grimy down here. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God that I'm on this side of the fence right now because I got homies doing life sentences, 40 years. I got partners in the graveyard. I could have easily been on both sides. And I probably should have because of the stuff that I've done. But I thank God for his mercy and his grace for not allowing me to be caught up in a twist like that. So I come from an area where there's no type of positive going on at all. Everything is negative. As soon as you step out your side, as soon as you step outside, you hearing gunshots. That's the normal. When you hear gunshots in the hood, you don't even move no more. It's just like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Out here where I live at now, everybody's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? You walk past a dead body, sad to say, people not even really, it's not even a big deal because you become accustomed to that lifestyle. And so it wraps into your mindset, and your mindset is just like, this is normal.
Yeah.
This is the normal, you know what I'm saying? But not even realize this is nowhere near normal. This is crazy. This is all crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so I realized that, and I had to just fall all the way back, man. It was people I had to fall back from that I love. But we on two different lanes in life. And I'm not going down that road no more. I'm not that same gangster dude that used to sit on the block and do what I was doing. I'm not there no more. I'm a #1 best-selling author, man. I'm a published author. I'm a motivator. I'm a man of God. And I'm working for what I want in life because I know my life has been real, man.
Yeah. And that's why I say I salute you, man. Because one day this was a few years back. And I was actually riding the bus going to one of the school programs that I had.
Yeah.
And I had a real conversation with one of the ladies on the bus, and we talking about everything that was going on. And the revelation was our reality is their nightmare.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but to make it from where, the statistics say by the age of 18, you're supposed to be either dead, locked up, or back on the streets.
Yeah.
And here you are years later after chasing the wrong path. Just a string of bad decisions. One bad decision can lead you to a horrible life or
Yes,
a blessed life.
yes, sir.
And so let's jump into the choices of life. Tell me a little bit more about the book. What is the book about?
Okay, so obviously the book is titled The Choices of Life. And I named The Choices of Life because that's what it is. The character I have in there playing the main character, his name is Cordell. And Cordell, he was raised, he didn't have his parents. His father was in a penitentiary. His mother had an overdose. He was with his grandmother. It was him and his sister. So he didn't have a positive male role model around to guide him to where he should be going in life, because all of his father friends were still on street stuff. They still trapping it out and robbing and all that kind of stuff. And so it was just him, his granny, and his sister. You know, his granny was a strict person. She had endured a lot in life. And so she was zero tolerance for games. Everything was serious with her, you know. And so he had to endure, and he made one decision that he never had to make. And it turned his whole life around versus where he could have been. And he took out like 5 or 6 years of his life where he could have been going down this path, and he ended up going down this path. And so during that time, a lot of stuff happened. You know, it was a loss, it was a major loss that he had to suck up, that he was partially causing of. It was a lot of stuff going on. And deeper than that, the people who he ended up getting connected up with, it's crazy how one decision affects not only you, but a lot of people around you. And so that's what a lot of people think, that I make this choice today, I'm the only one affected behind it. It's multiple people that's affected behind one choice. And so that's what it is. Like it was an auntie of his that was connected. And it's crazy. I can't give too much of the story. You know, I'd rather you read it for your own self, because I don't want to be a book spoiler. I hate a movie spoiler. So I'm gonna give you a short version. Everybody's connected. I'm just gonna say that. It's a roller coaster ride. It's about decisions, choices, making the right decisions. But you can come out of life and overcome a lot of stuff. But unfortunately, karma has its way of coming back when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Then hitting whoever. It don't have no picks and chooses. Karma is a dirty, you know the rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that's what it is, man. And so I had to realize, man, even throughout writing this book, I started learning myself a little bit more. And I had to understand we are all given 24 hours a day. You know, nobody has no more than 24 hours a day. And really, you only have 12 to 14 hours of that 24 hours a day, especially if you got a family, to even go out here into this world and try to attempt to do something with your life. And so it's a must that we value time, watches, 24 hours a day. You know, if you multiply that, do the math, you know what I'm saying? So I take time very serious. I take time very, very serious, because I understand I'm either one choice or better in my life, or I'm one choice away of putting myself back in the situation that I just came from. And so I have to watch everything I do like a chess game. It's chess moves out here, you know, because I can, on either side of the fence, I can be checkmated, me winning or me losing. I don't want to lose. I took too many losses out here. I took too many L's. It's time to connect that L, and put a W on it. You know, and eventually we're gonna drop it down to an M. And so that's what the business is, man.
I like hearing that, man. I love the passion that you have for it. And from knowing your story, I know that you're very connected to those choices, right? So here's a question for you. What was the toughest decision that you ever had to make that put you on a different path?
We being honest right now, I'm going to be honest right now. I have to make a lot of decisions, and I'm just going to say this, lack of better terms, I had to leave a certain individual alone. You know, not to say that individual was trash or any of that type of stuff, but I understood that while me and that individual was doing our thing, I wasn't gaining, I was losing, you know, and it probably was a lot on me, because I was making choices that was probably putting me in certain situations, but I had to understand within myself that I'm not growing, man. I'm not going anywhere in life. I want this and that. I want this, that. I want to be this, you know, but this is not going anywhere. Although I love you, I had to wake up and have love for myself. And that was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make, because my kids were involved in that situation. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that individual. Not no talking down in no type of way, you know, but I had to make a decision for myself and understand, if my kids want a better life, I got to start that life. And I got to position myself so that way they can be positioned. And if I'm forever running around like a hamster in a cage, running around in circles, I ain't going nowhere. So that's going to trickle down, and my kids ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. So it's about that. That was a legacy move. That
Yeah,
was a legacy move. Now you mentioned that you had to leave other people alone, right? And
yeah,
I'll speak on this one because I know you're still in that position where, you know, you're starting to ascend in life into where you're supposed to be. So is that a hard decision for you to, sometimes when it comes down to friends, not wanting to not always being around the same friends? Like, has your circle changed as a result of the new you, the direction that you're going in?
yeah. It's been a hard decision, but I'm gonna say it like this. Yesterday was my book launch party, and I'm not holding nothing towards nobody, but people make priorities for what they feel is important.
Yeah.
So and that's just what it is. Now I understand that certain people could not make that. You know what I'm saying? This was something very big in my life. One of the most happiest days of my whole 34 years that I've been on this earth. So for me to call you a brother, a friend, sis, and all that kind of stuff, and you can't even do the small things because you got to watch when you put that friend title on people because friends
Mhm.
will show you a thing or two. They'll show you that they really ain't your friend. You know, and the whole time it's envious, jealous, and all the other stuff going on behind closed doors. And you sit here rocking hard for this individual, vouching for this individual, telling the world how real they is, not even knowing it's a whole nother motive, interior motive, because it's inside that's going on. And so that's what it is. Leaving certain people alone, although it hurts. But see, I'm at the time in my life, I'm trying to level up. And I got kids
Yeah.
that's watching me. I got kids that need me. I'm trying to increase my bank account.
There
I'm
we
trying to
go.
increase my credit score. And I'm trying to live a normal adult life, something I should have been doing years ago. I've been wasting a lot of time, so I don't have time to waste no more. Everything is serious. I joke around, but I'm square business, man. I'm square business.
There we go. I like that, man. And that's one of the toughest things. I always think about it. Um, when and this is something I heard in a sermon one time, right? TD Jake said when Peter smote the dude with the sword, cut his ear off
Yeah,
for Jesus,
yeah.
he was like, Satan, get thee behind me, right? But in the same breath, in the same sense, while they were sitting at the table, he was like, Judas, my friend. And he knew
Mm,
the whole time. So, like you said, that word definitely has a lot of power. But I'm proud to see that you're actually taking time and moving away and moving into that circle. One thing I'll tell you from experience is this: um, don't worry about those that you lose, because in order to fill a cup up, sometimes you got to pour a little bit of water out in order to put
right.
more or put cleaner water in there, right? And the scripture says you can't pour new wine into old wineskins. And
Mm.
so as you transform, as you continue, I ain't gonna call you no butterfly because you're a dude, but as if you look at a butterfly, or even if you look at a diamond, it has to
Yeah.
go through a certain amount of pressure.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
during that process, it's not always easy, right? And I'm happy to see the man that you're becoming. And I wish I would have brought your mom, dad, and brother on this call, because they have actually seen that growth in you. And there's a new Cory in town, and everybody that's around you can see it. So even yesterday, your kids were on the call and they expressed how proud they are of you. Tell me about some of those emotions that just from yesterday's call, some of the things that you've experienced so far.
It's been like a roller coaster ride of emotions, man. But it's all happiness. It's all happy tears. It's no type of depression or nothing like that. I'm proud of myself to be at this moment. Some people might mistake my confidence as cockiness, but if people only knew a crumb of the real situations that I can't even speak on,
Mm-hmm.
of what I had to endure out here, you'll understand why I pride myself and move the way I move and talk the way I talk. And so, yeah, it was, and out of all people, man, seeing my kids say, "Hey, Daddy, I'm proud of you. We love you." We know, I made some mistakes out here. I ain't the father of the year. Obviously, but it is what it is because we live and we learn, and experience is the best teacher. And so not only did my kids get to see this side, or not only did my kids get to see the negative side, they get to see how face to face, personally, you can transform your life by making different decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing, man, is that when you start moving for your legacy starts watching, right?
Oh yeah.
And they are definitely watching. Man, tell us about some of the things that you've been doing in the community since you started on this new path.
Well, I still got my 9 to 5, but besides the book, I'm working on a documentary right now. I'm putting together a documentary where I'm gonna interview some people and put it on tape and show it to the world. And I'm already working on my second book right now. It's kind of on pause mode because it's a lot of going on. I'm just trying to stay focused and one step at a time. I ain't trying to
Yeah.
bombard myself with too much pressure, but it's gonna get done. And so it's a lot of stuff in the making, man. It's a lot of stuff in the making. Me and my fiance, she has a lot of stuff that she's working on. So it's a combination, man. It's we ain't Jay-Z and Beyonce, man, but we're trying to level up, man. And that's what it is, man. I'm just trying to cook up and live according to my purpose because I know if it was a gun put to my head and somebody said, I'm gonna shoot you if you say God, do you believe in God? I'm gonna take that bullet. I'm gonna take that bullet, I'm gonna lay it down. Because if I never had a belief in life that God is real, I know God is real, man. It ain't no human on this earth that can move how God has transformed and shifted my whole life.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I know you keep moving in the direction that you're going in, and it will happen. It will come to pass. Like you said, you going from the L to the, how you say it, the L to the W
We're
to
gonna
the
put the L
M.
out here, turn it to a W, we're gonna drop down to an M, man.
Drop it down to the M. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you keep chasing it, and I'm pretty sure there's some people on here who are even people that are watching that have film experience that would be willing to help with the documentary. Um, there's people out there. So one thing that I'll say is, as you keep moving, the right people will always join up and connect with you, right? And I say that from experience because I've lost a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure on this journey, just in the past year, you've lost a lot of people that you were like, man, this is supposed to be my homie. Used to be my homie, used to be my ace, and I want to anyway. But the fact that you're here now, I'm just gonna say, and I'm gonna speak into you, as you keep moving, the right people will come along that help you get to that place that you're trying to go. So on this journey, I'll say, don't worry about those dark days, because I know you still have them. We all have them, right? Where it's like, why am I still chasing something like this when every once in a while it doesn't feel as good as it could? Know that people are always watching. And I noticed that you share a lot of people's posts, from people that are doing positive things, people that are sharing paintings, people that are sharing. You share a lot of people's stuff. You show love. So what encourages you to continue to share others things the way that you do?
Because for one, I'm not a selfish individual, man. I want to see all my people get on, man. And it's not, when I say my people, I don't necessarily put a skin tone on it, but I do put a skin tone on it because I want to see my people make it. I know we come from the mud, man. I know we come from below, under the ground. I know the stuff that we had to endure back in the day. I know how real it was on them plantations. I know how real the whole race, man. We've been down our whole life. So if anything I can do that can better somebody or give somebody else exposure, I'm gonna do that. And I ain't asking for a dime. I just want to see you in position. You got a family to feed. I got a family to feed. Let's boss up. Let's live like kings and queens and how we were supposed to be living from the jump.
There we go. And I'm a correct one thing. You are asking for a dime. even though you do it from the love. Yeah, there's a way to level up and still eat at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So that's we'll have that conversation offline. Don't give until you broke. Because once you broke, then the same people that you helped up will look back and say, mm. So keep pushing. What are some of the things that you're trying to get into after this? Now that the book is launched, now that you are a #1 bestseller, and for those of y'all who are just joining, let me reintroduce the young gentleman in front of y'all. This is Cory Scott, author named C.L. Scott, who just launched his book, The Choices of Life, to a #1 Amazon bestseller. Had an amazing book launch yesterday. He killed it. When I say there was so much love on the screens, because y'all know we can't do anything live, we're doing everything virtual, but virtually there was family from all over the country. There were friends from all over the country that were there to support him on this new journey. And so he is now a Amazon best-selling author. He's a motivational speaker. He is working on documentaries behind the scenes. He is leveling this thing up. He's leveling this thing all the way up. So a year ago, the same dude that you see sitting before you had an ankle monitor on, based on the decisions and based on the circle and based on things that were happening in his life. Now he is actually in a much different place. So for all of y'all out there who are still on the fence and say, well, why should we support different movements? Why, nobody can be rehabilitated. You make one mistake, that's it. He's living proof that just because we all have a past, and some of y'all are some of us forget what college was like. Some of us forget what those teenage years to early 20s was like. And he's living proof. He's turned his life around. He is a better man for himself, for his family, for his fiance, and he is looking to take it to the next level. So um again, man, what are some of the next moves? What are you looking to get into? Because I know as a speaker, who are some of the people that you're trying to influence?
I want to influence the youth, man. That's lost out here temporarily, just at a pause in life. They don't know where they're going. They don't have any type of guidance around them. Everything is negative, and I just want to be that person to step into their life and just let them know it's gonna be all right, man. You was here for a purpose, man. You have a passion. You have a plan, and I'm gonna help you find it. And that's what I get. My love is to see you do good. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I want to go with it. I want to go into the schools, juvenile halls, penitentiaries, all across the world, man, and just show love and just I don't know the word, just kind of
To
let
empower
people
them.
know they haven't been forgotten about, and that you matter. You matter, regardless of what your current situation is. It can all be turned around. It can. I'm a living proof example. Been through the worst of the worst, so there is no excuse you can tell me on God's green earth that it can't be done. The words can't, and all the other negative words not even allowed in this household. We don't even use that terminology over here because everything is possible through Christ Jesus. And I'm just gonna put it like that. And those are facts. And so that's my goal, man, is to touch the world through my story, through my testimony, through everything I've had to endure to let you know that you can overcome anything life throws at you, man. Because it ain't the hand that you play, it ain't the hand that you dealt, it's how you play it.
Yeah.
I'm a spades player. If I get a bad hand, I ain't gonna whine about it and try to let's reshuffle the whole deck. I'm gonna play my hand like a G. I don't got no spades. I probably got low clubs, low hearts, and all the rest of that stuff. And I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it according to however it go, and I'm gonna live it like that. That's what I want the next brother, the next sister to understand, that it don't matter. It's not over until God says it's over. You have a plan. You have a plan for your life, and once you figure it out, like I said yesterday on the call, man, one of the two most important dates on this earth is the day you were born and the day you figure out why. And when you figure out those two things, you begin to live life abundantly.
Yeah, exactly. So for those out there who are in education, who work with youth, who are in the juvenile system, who work in the jail system, if you know people that can connect Cory to those people to bring him in, and we're not talking to volunteer, we're talking bring him in and put a check on it.
Yeah.
Definitely reach out so that we can get him, keep him on that path. And believe it or not, exposure is everything. So for those kids who are making those mistakes, they need to see somebody who's made that turnaround, because they may feel that they're in that position where they can't turn it around, and the right teacher, the right mentor, the right person that they're exposed to does wonders to change their viewpoint, right?
Yeah.
Tell us more about this documentary that you have, that you're
Oh,
planning
so
out.
the documentary is about it's 20 people who I'm gonna interview, uh 10 unsuccessful people, and I'm gonna interview 10 successful people. And when I say successful, it's not even really a definition, because so many people think of success being money. But I know millionaires who depressed, and I know bums who happy. So it's not even about the cash flow. It's just about where your mindset. But I just want to get deeper into the story of people's lives. I've always been a curious person. I guess I'm nosy. You know what I'm saying? But I love it. I like to hear success stories. I like to get in people's mindset to wonder, like, why? Like, how did you get to where you are, or why did you do what you did to get to where you are? So that's what the documentary is based on, and it's called Time. It's called Time. And I plan on taking that and putting that to the second book, or even being on his own little project and just putting it to like rehab centers, juvenile halls, and because I used to watch that kind of stuff when I was in those places, and I've been through all that. And so that's what I wanted, people to see motivation, man. While they down to their lowest, you locked behind a cell, or you sitting inside of a mental home getting doped up with medication, at least you can see something positive, or I can come in there and speak to you. You know what I'm saying? To let you know that it's gonna be all right, man. It's gonna be all right, sister. It's gonna be all right, brother. I care about you. If he over there in the corner don't care, Cory care. I love you, and I want to see you on that level. I want to see you boss up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, you got a really positive outlook, man. What keeps you so motivated and so positive?
My
Like
past,
what?
man. I never want to enter that stuff again. So I've always been a heavy reader, from the seed that my mother planted as a young boy. And so I read a whole lot. Like, people ask me what my hobby is. I love sports. I love working out. I love all that stuff. But if you put a book in my hand, I'm gonna tune all the way in.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's what it is, man. And I try to just keep soaking up positivity, because I know there's so much negativity around. It's easy to spot that. It's hard to see some positive stuff nowadays. I try not to even get caught up in the news and all that political type stuff, because it's all negative stuff. And so I just kind of keep myself surrounded by positive, like-minded people who want something different in life.
Definitely, definitely. What are some books that you would recommend for somebody who's on that path of turning their life around? What are some books that influenced you heavily?
One of the most greatest books that I've read, man. It's a book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and it kind of broke down how our mindsets work and why we get what we get out here in life. I used to work at a call center, and we used the term rebuttal, and it said life is what you put into it. You get out of life whatever you put into it. And so that's what it is. It broke down the mindset, and they had me to thinking, like, you have a conscious mind, and then you have the other level. And whatever you feed yourself, whether it be through the TV, music, and all that stuff, it's playing inside your mind. And so whatever you speaking negative. You wake up in the morning, one little thing happened to you, and you tell yourself, oh man, it's gonna be a horrible day. You just spoke your life into a horrible day. Now you can easily turn around and say, oh man, I just had to deal with lack of better terms, crazy person, but I'm not gonna let him ruin my day. I'm gonna go to work, or I'm gonna go do what I gotta do, and I'm gonna have a blessed day. I might cut on some music real quick just to rejuvenate that spirit and get back right, because the devil's gonna be busy 24 hours a day trying to shake you up and break you. And that's what it's talking about. 48 laws of power. It can be used on both sides of the fence. The negative side, the positive side. What's some more books? It's so much, man. It's so much, man. It's so much. I can go on for days about books, and we can talk for hours.
Let's do it. Give me your top five.
Top five. Top five: Power of the Subconscious Mind, 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction. That's what's that? Three. Uh, what is that book that I'm reading? The Business of Books.
I love that one.
I bet you do. And how to win friends and influence others.
Okay. Yeah. So those are five good books. Now when it comes down to music, I noticed that before you would always and I watch everything. So I would see the post from before. It may be a Dallas hip hop artist or a Houston hip hop artist or just one of the newer hip hop artists. But lately, what's your go-to music?
I mean, well, I'm forever gonna be a Tupac fan because he got some motivation music, man. He gonna tell a story within his music. I'm a broad range when it comes to music. I can go country. Jazz is one of my favorites because I can sit back and just relax and close my eyes and just tune in. Blues. I'm all the way around the board with it. I'm just not like I just listen to rap all day. I really don't even like to listen to that type of stuff no more because it's all negative. Once again, that mindset. I don't want to feed that stuff into my mind, talking about killing and prostituting women and all the other stuff. We know, we hear it. I just don't want that in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Speaking of Pac, today is September 13th. September 13th, 1996 was Pac's last day. So I'm definitely gonna be in the car after this, take the suit and tie off and throw some Pac on.
Oh yeah.
So um she said that Carolyn said that blues. Man, listen, and okay. You have a lot of people that are commenting that are running the chats right now. So that they are following along with you. Man, I wanna do this. I know there's a lot of people that are on. If y'all have any questions for Cory, definitely go ahead and drop some questions in here while we're talking. We want to make sure that Cory is able to answer those questions for y'all. So we mentioned that you are looking to get into schools, looking to speak at youth, juvenile detention centers, at prisons, jails, and working on your documentary, right? What's some advice that you would give to a youngster or somebody who's walking that path that you were once on?
First of all, you got to get away from that circle you in, man. Them friends that they call them friends, they really ain't your friends because eventually you're gonna be in a decision. You're gonna be at a fork in the road where you're facing the judge. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, the judge, DA, prosecutor, plus your lawyer is planning at lunch while they eating sandwiches and drinking water how they gonna screw over your whole life. And so if you can avoid being in a situation where somebody's gonna give you 40 years, 30 years, or a life sentence, death penalty, by all means, fall back from that because you can't see the ending of the road. All you see is that first chapter you in. You think you live because you got a few dollars and there's a couple of females liking on you. You're dressing nice, but you don't even know the flip side of that. You're gonna be wearing all white. You're gonna be waking up. This is a commissary list. This is my old commissary list. It's good prices on here. I don't want them good prices. I rather pay for the big stuff in the world. But that's what you're gonna face, or even worse, you might face a cemetery where you can't shake back from. And so I would just suggest that you just, you ain't gotta be a follower. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to say, nah, man, I don't want that. No, I don't want to hit that. No, I don't want to drink that. It's okay to say that, because you got a mind, you gotta learn how to think for yourself. Because if you don't, somebody else gonna think for you, and they're gonna put you in a living hell situation where you're gonna wish you had thought for yourself. I never forget, man, when I was in the county last time before I had got out off parole, it was a young cat I used to talk to every day. Well, it was his night to go to prison. He had 50 years. We chopped it up all night. I prayed for him and all that. Right before he left out the cell with his mat and his bag, he turned around and said, I wish I had listened, man. And it touched me on a whole nother level. You know?
Yeah.
19 years old, man. So go do 50 years behind one decision. He can't take that back. And my heart cried out for him because I knew he was a good brother. He just didn't have no guidance in his life. He ain't had nobody to tell him, hey, man, I love you, man. Leave them people alone, man. Come over here with me, man. You hungry, I'm going to feed you. You thirsty, let's get something to drink. But stay away from them, man. They're going to ruin your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's too many youngsters out there that run into that situation because they don't have those male role models. Like one of the big things, and I see the passion that you have. I know the passion that you have, and it's coming from a real place, right? The one thing that I usually walk away from people on the right side when the question is posed, can you help mentor a young man? And it may be 30 minutes a week. We get 168 hours in a week. And there's a lot of grown men out here that are, I say, quote unquote, grown men that are scared of their boss more than they scared of that next youngster going down that path and won't give up that 30 minutes a day. Man, 30 minutes can change somebody's life, man. And I know that youngster that's facing that time now is still remembering that conversation, right? And I can see so many other youngsters that's going to be facing similar conversations, and you want to get to them before they have to make that last decision, or they have to turn for the last time and say goodbye to mom, say goodbye to dad, say goodbye to little sisters and brothers, because they getting ready to be on the other side of that glass where they can't touch family members, right? And a lot of us take that for granted, right? So once again, man, I definitely salute what you are doing now and the route that you're on now, and I'll always encourage you. And even though we joke about it, I'm dead serious. You start walking the wrong path, I'm coming back. I'll make that trip to Dallas, Corona or not. Right? If you can share one last thing with the people out there, man, what do you want them to know about CL Scott?
I leave this right here. A powerful quote that I heard in the penitentiary once again, man. A guy told me, a smart man learns from his mistakes and a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. And so I would suggest that people just learn how to be wise for themselves. So you don't have to stick your finger in a flame to tell if it's hot or not. You already know it's hot. So just don't even touch it. Don't even go that route. It's okay to go the other route. It's better on this side of the fence. The legal money, the legal lifestyle, you ain't gotta watch your back, all that kind of good stuff. This is where it's lit at. People think the streets is lit. The streets ain't lit at all. The streets gonna have you lit up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just pray, man. Every day I pray for this world, man. I pray that God keeps his angels protecting around all of us, even the ones that still lost and don't even know they lost. Because I was in that position. And I know how it feels to somebody drilling you. You think somebody preaching to you, and you like, yeah, I hear you. It's going to one ear and not the other. You really ain't hearing until you have to fade that stuff yourself. But experience is the best teacher. So like, once again, man, I would want everybody to just be wise about every decision that you make. Every choice that you make, it has a consequence that's going to follow behind it. And so if you're not paying attention, you can either be on the good side or the bad side. It's a word called longevity. And longevity thinking will get you far in life. You know, thinking 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, making a vision board, writing out your goals, speaking life into your own self every morning you waking up, thanking God, man, picking that word up, speaking positive words, all that kind of good stuff, man. It's going to change your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And that's wisdom for real. Wisdom on a different level. I leave this as well, because you mentioned the decisions, right? Most people think in terms of today. The smart
Yeah,
people think in terms of this year. Wise people think in terms of this decade. But when you really start looking at it, if you are trying to leave that legacy, the legacies that we leave as an employee, we're leaving a legacy with that 401k, right? If you become a business owner, you're planning out your strategy for at least that year. But when you start becoming a CEO and you start becoming a boss and a billionaire, you're planning for a lot longer, right? Most people plan out a year and say, these are my goals, these are my resolutions. Whereas
yeah,
the business owner is already saying, this is what I need to do for the next 5 years.
yeah,
Whereas the wealthy business owner is saying, this is what I need to do for the next 10. But the
yeah,
millionaires and the billionaires are saying, this is what I need to do to make sure my next generation and the generation after them and the generation after them is taken care of. So I salute you on making better choices. I salute you for being, once again, number one. You didn't just come out as an author. You came out as a number one best-selling author. So man, it's time to work. It's time to take it to the next level, right? And I'm so anxious for the future. One
oh
thing
yeah,
that I and Miss Jamaica Bingham, I'll I'll send you the message, or you can go in the chat. She said she would love to have you speak to the youth there in Houston, um, and she actually left the ministry number for you. We'll have him reach out after the call, Miss Bingham. But one thing that I do every week on here is I like to give back as well. So for the next person who actually comments, you want to give away some books?
sure.
All right. So for the next 5 people that actually comment book, we'll have a book sent to you. You'll get a copy of Cory's ebook, um, and that'll be in your email by the end of the day. And for the next person who comments cash, if you haven't won before, it will be a
Keyword.
$25. Yeah, there'll be a $25 cash app giveaway in your inbox before it's 3:53 right now. Before 4 o'clock p.m., you will have a $25 cash app giveaway. So for the next person that comments cash, and while we're on here, man, um, you went through the business of books mastermind, man. What would you say to people who are thinking about writing a book?
I highly suggest that you go through Sugar Ray Destiny, man, because not only it's gonna get down and dirty, man. You're gonna become family, man. It's not it's deeper than the business aspect because it becomes personal. He gonna get on you, man. When you slacking, you're not getting on calls, you're not sending emails, you're not applying yourself. It's gonna be consequences behind that. But one thing that I do know about this brother, man, he cares, man. He cares genuine from the heart, and he has a passion to see other people grow in life. And he gonna work, he gonna work, man. I've been through the program 2 times, 3 times. I'm still in it. I don't want to leave. This is my family. This is my home. This is where I'm growing at. This is where my whole life changed at. And so I'm locked in for life. And I suggest you to get locked in also.
Absolutely, man. I guess nobody wants that cash app giveaway because nobody's coming in cash. But Miss Jamaica Bingham, you got a book coming. For everybody else, listen, we love y'all, and we will see y'all next week. We should be bringing y'all another best-selling author. Cory, thank you once again, man, and congratulations. Salute.
All right, ready.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
have a blessed day.